Thank you very much, all our viewers from Kenya and even abroad. My name is David MUTERIAN and this is DBN TV. And I welcome you to this program. Please accompany me from the beginning to the end because today is gonna be a blast. We have a guest on studio. Her name is Betty and she will be sharing more about herself. To remind you again, she's Miss President, that is in NAIROBI County. So you don't have to miss this episode. Don't touch that dial, don't touch the remote. Put it aside for now. My name is David MUTERIAN again, and allow me at this juncture to welcome our guest today. Thank you for coming to our studios.
Thank you for having me today. Asante.
Yeah. Yes. Now, I know there are a lot of titles, and I may fail to mention some, I may omit some. So please allow me to give you this platform to give us your titles.
Oh, thank you for having me here today.
You're welcome.
As you've said, my name is Betty ADERA, and I'm the Miss President, NAIROBI County.
Yes.
Other than that, I have also just been nominated to be the patron for the first ever Young Women Forum in Africa.
Wow.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Following my journey in the Miss President reality show. And I've also been nominated to receive the Global Books for Peace Award, which is a global award.
So you are an author?
Not really an author, but it is in recognition of the peace efforts that I have done, over the years.
Sure.
And I should be crowned on the 14th of September in Rome.
That is next week.
That's just next week.
We'll be waiting for that.
And then tomorrow, being the International Charity Day, that is 5th of September. Every year it's celebrated globally. I've also been nominated to be the chief guest in the awarding ceremony here in Kenya, here in Nairobi. But I'm also receiving an award, myself, again in recognition of the charity, work that I have done over the last 22 years across the country. And I'm also founder and CEO of BETY ADERA Foundation.
That is your own foundation.
That's now my own foundation, where we do all the charity work, all the peace work, targeting especially women, older, younger, and young people. And I'm also a mother.
You're also a mother.
I'm also a mother, which I think is the most important title.
Yes. I really feel peace now that you have admitted that.
I'm a mother.
Now, let's roll from here.
Yeah.
You are a woman who have come out to stand for the women of the Republic of Kenya. First of all, let's begin. Where did you begin this journey?
Actually, this journey, I began it like 22 years ago.
Yes.
And I didn't know I was in the journey. It was one of those journeys I was apparently in it out of just, having a heart to serve, my people, my community, and reaching out to people who I thought needed help and needed that push, to also, reach their goals. And that's something that I have done for 22 years. But later on, like over the last 3 to 5 years, I think it's become more and more clearer to me that I may need now to move from the grassroots level of support and service to more national, to more broader policy, national level service. And that is even part of what motivated me to join the Miss President reality show that just ended last month, because I knew that if I get in there, just listen to that, Miss President. That's quite a that's quite a title,
Sure.
And I thought that if I get in there, I'm going to come out a much better person, a more capacity built person, a better trained person, so that I can have something even more solid, to give back to the communities, where I serve. So I consider myself as an upcoming new fresh blood. In terms of national level leadership, not only in Kenya, actually, but within the East African region. So right now, I'm just throwing my hands out there saying, hey, where my help is needed, I'm going to give it. If anyone needs like fresh blood, fresh thinking, on strategies and innovations around solutions to all these ills, that eat us away in our country, I'm open to, throwing my weight and giving my thought.
Now, talking of a woman in Africa, there are a lot of challenges. Right now, we are trying to do something because such people like you are coming out. How are you able to reach them and know what is affecting them and now also helping them?
Yes. Well, as an upcoming woman leader, there's so many challenges facing me, myself, but there are also so many challenges facing, millions of women out there, young and old, that actually need to be addressed. And if you ask me, the person who's best placed, to address it is none other than a woman who's also walked through, that particular journey. Violence, for instance, discrimination, for instance, is one of those things that really put women down all over the place. Talk about Kenya, talk about Tanzania, talk about South Africa, talk about anywhere within especially sub-Saharan Africa communities. Women have violence as almost like their number one, challenge. And having gone through domestic violence myself, I'm a survivor. I've toughened up. I've worn those shoes.
So I really
know what it is. And I'm thinking that I want to lead then the changing of the narrative that women are their worst enemies. I want to change that because I don't believe it's true. While perception-wise, it may look like the same, but time has come that if women do not come out live and bold to support their own, then we'll forever continue having this roller coaster of challenges that our grandmothers had, that we still have and see today.
All right, that is amazing. Now, I want you to tell us something about the Miss President. It sounds good, And I don't know how you end up there and how was the competition, because I believe it was also a competition. How did you emerge to be
a finalist?
Top five. Yeah. Tell us more about that.
Well, that was quite a journey. For me, I mentored thousands, actually, of young women out there. And a bunch of them saw the advertisement that was done by an organization called Media Focus on Africa. And they brought it to my attention that, hey, ma'am, look at this. We know you are our president, our Miss President, so please, this is for you. And it was a time when I was so busy at work. I had so much going on. I don't have time. I don't have time for that. But they wouldn't budge. They wouldn't go away. They wouldn't stop They kept on pressing and pressing until the last day, the deadline. They came to my office in the morning and camped there. The deadline was 12. So to get them off my hair, I just decided, okay, whatever. Let me just apply.
I'll go about it.
And then so that they leave me alone, right? But the minute I started responding to the questions in the questionnaire, I realized that, oh my goodness, this is the real deal. This is something so big, not only for me, but for the Kenyan woman. Because it was asking questions around, what have you done in the community? What is it that would motivate you to be like the real president of Kenya? And what are some of the things that you'd have as your priority, as your big four? What would be your big four? And how would you address these national challenges? And it got me thinking that time has come for women to actually take their rightful place in top leadership positions in this country and in Africa. So they set out the advertisement, and I think over 1,000 women from across the country applied. They did auditions again across the country, and eventually they invited 71 of us into the academy. Okay? So I was among the people who were the 71, and we were coming in based on the counties that you represent. And I can tell you that all the 71 women I met there are powerhouses. They are women who are doing great work across this country, causing girls to go to school, removing girls from early marriages, sorting out those who are child mothers, talking about cattle rustling, talking about terrorism. I mean, they were there in the academy, and I was so blessed and honored to have met each and every one of them. But again, it was a competition. At the end of the day, it was your agenda. It's a competition, and they took us all through a rigorous training program,
Yes.
and everyone left the academy at least with something, better than the way, the way we got in.
Yeah.
And we were trained on big things like national security, fighting terrorism, food security, big stuff that a real president, would need to handle and deal with almost every single day. And then we were put in groups, and at the end of the day, we were given assignments as well. There were judges in the room, trainers in the room, and then at the end of the day, some people had to be eliminated because that was the process they put in place to eventually come up with a final winner. So I was lucky and honored to be among the top 5 who are now the finalists. And for me, I'm representing Nairobi City County. I represented Nairobi City County as a finalist. And then in the last stretch now, it was now up to Kenyans, to determine. So we were out there, all the 5 of us, campaigning, asking for votes, educating people on what the show was on and what it means. And then eventually a winner was determined, and I still continue to congratulate her. She's a woman called NAIROBI Amondi, who came in representing Homa Bay County. But I came fourth, in the final race, and I'm now the Miss President of Nairobi County. And for me now, I'm working very closely with the leadership of Nairobi County to see how to steer the leadership for women agenda forward within the county. But using my other tenets, I'm also reaching out to thousands of young people and women out there across the country again to build them. I must say that I'm grateful for the funders of the Miss President show, the European Union, the Canadian government, Muhuri, and several others who came in to provide the resources, that was needed. And I think at the end of the day, Kenyans had that much needed conversation to the question of, is Kenya ready for a female president?
That's true, and that's raised my question. To the girl child, let me say girl child and a woman, what's the future?
The future is very bright, apparently, for the girl child, for the women in Kenya. In fact, according to me, there's no better time to be a woman in Kenya than now. And here is why. We've had conversations around comparisons between leadership positions led by men and led by women. Both sides are human beings. Mistakes, happen, but successes also happen. But time has come now to move the huge masses of women who are in lower leadership positions. It's not that they're not there. They are there, but they are in lower leadership positions. Now, time has come to uplift them in all sectors and in all fields so that they have a seat around the decision-making table, around the policy, making table, so that their voices are once and for all heard, and heard loudly and heard clearly. And I'm thinking we have a political dispensation right now under the new constitution we have, that if we just do things the right way, if there are many Bettys like me, if all the women, the 71 who came into the Miss President Academy in their respective counties, hold the hand of 5 other young girls and young women, we are going to be so far.
All right. Now, a very quick question as we wind up, because there's something I realize in you. There is really leadership in you. I don't know if it's only me who feel that, but I really feel that there's that leadership skill. Because I think what we have in Kenya, in a good percentage, we have politicians. But we lack leadership. But I can see leadership in you. Now, in 10 years to come, or rather in future, where do we see Betty? Betty, do you have any plans? Maybe to be...
Look, Betty was in the Miss President show.
Apart from...
Did you hear that? Miss President.
Yes.
Betty doesn't mind. One day in the future, God willing, going for that top seat. There's a lot she learned in the show. There's a lot she's learning and building up, herself, toughening up, toughening up every single day towards that kind of a dream. But 2022 is coming. It's just, like round the corner, and that's a good place to start.
We'll wait for that. But anyway, because of the women that you present, I know you cannot lack one or two words to say to them. So kindly face this camera and maybe talk to them, advise them, tell them something.
Yeah.
Yes.
To my fellow women out there, the world of leadership is not for the faint-hearted. The world of politics is not for the faint-hearted. The world to take the bull by the horns is right now, and there's no better time to be a woman in Kenya and to be a woman in Africa. My main message to all of you out there is, and to myself as well, one, do not fear. Believe in yourself. That thing that you've always wanted to do, to start doing, to continue doing, get on it and do not fear. Secondly, be persistent. Be persistent. Do that thing over and over again. Success never comes overnight. Success is a lifelong journey. But if you persist, you're just gonna make it. And third, think about who is this who's around you. Who do you go to for advice? Who is this who's mentoring you? We need women who are properly mentored and properly capacity built, so that that dream you're having, that thing you're thinking about doing, you do it, and you do it with full courage, and we will all be successful. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Betty. We are humbled to have you here.
Thank you.
We also wish you all the best, even as you move from one level to another. Please stand for the women of the Republic of Kenya and even Africa at large.
Thank you.
And to you, our viewers, thank you very much for being with us. I hope you have educated. We had Betty on studio. She's Miss President, Nairobi County. That's a heavy, that's heavy duty, but she's managing it. So to all the women, I hope you are motivated, you are encouraged, and it is time for you to arise and also shine, because you have everything that it entails to stand just as what men do. However, because of time, we have to wind up from there. My name is David MUTERIAN. This has been The Political Jab, and we thank you for being with us. May God bless you. Have yourself a good time.